In this episode of our enlightening series, we delve into a provocative topic: the truth behind biblical criticism. Often when we approach religious texts, especially ones as ancient and revered as the Torah, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of modern skepticism and scientific reasoning. We tend to forget that these texts, passed down through generations, hold not just religious significance but also historical and cultural value. The central question we're addressing today is: can the Torah, a cornerstone of Jewish faith, be regarded purely as a historical document by secular scholars? The answer, unfortunately, is not straightforward. Secular critics, often limited by their own beliefs and the constraints of contemporary scientific understanding, tend to dismiss the Torah's historical authenticity. They argue that it was written post-Moses and that it only reflects a fragment of historical reality. However, such a viewpoint overlooks the Torah's nuanced portrayal of events that transcend natural explanation. For instance, the Torah describes a reality that defies natural laws: the survival of an entire nation in the desert for 40 years, and the extraordinary events surrounding the Exodus from Egypt. These accounts challenge the secular assumption, as no natural explanation can account for these phenomena. The Torah doesn't just narrate historical events, it tells of divine revelations and miracles, elements that are beyond the purview of scientific scrutiny. This is where biblical criticism often hits a roadblock. Yehezkel Kaufman astutely observed that the dominance of current biblical criticism stems from the secular orientation of its scholars. This approach isn't a well-kept secret, it's been a key argument in biblical research. It's important to understand that criticism of the Torah often involves substituting facts with theories that align with the critic's secular perspectives. One must ask, then, what drives these secular interpretations of the Torah? The answer lies in the fundamental disconnect between the religious and secular understanding of the text. Where a religious person might see a divine intervention, a secular critic sees a natural phenomenon or a socio-political allegory. This difference in perspective leads to vastly different interpretations of the same text. Now let's consider the nature of miracles in the Torah. From a secular standpoint, miracles are seen as implausible events that cannot be scientifically analyzed or explained. Hence, any narrative involving miracles is often dismissed by secular critics. However, this dismissal does not negate the possibility of their occurrence. It merely highlights the limitations of scientific inquiry in understanding events described as miracles. The Torah's depiction of a large population surviving in the desert, the plagues of Egypt, and the parting of the Red Sea are prime examples. These events, described as miracles, are often rationalized by secular critics in natural terms. However, these rationalizations fall short of explaining the precise timing and sequence of these events as described in the Torah. In our quest for historical accuracy, we must consider the Torah in its entirety, including its miraculous accounts. While science may not validate these miracles, it also cannot definitively disprove them. Therefore, dismissing the Torah's historical credibility based solely on its inclusion of miracles is an oversimplification. As we navigate through the complex terrain of biblical criticism, it's essential to maintain an open mind. The Torah, like any ancient text, deserves to be studied and understood within its historical and cultural context. By doing so, we may uncover a richer, more nuanced understanding of this ancient and sacred text.